Your soap in there? Remind me to get you some more soap too. Hey, 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 God living here family. Welcome back. Welcome if you're a first time viewer. All glory be to God. Just God is so good. Woo! Woo! God is so good. He's amazing. And I just want to thank him for his mercy and his grace to see on another day, to being able to be his servant, a child of his, to embrace his love and his forgiveness. Um, and then just to bask in his glory. Um, he just gave me this. I did just watch a video though, but he did just give me this and gave me the revelation as far as for me and my life and what I'm going through. And um it was about it was just about when just how God fights the battles of a godly woman, right? And he gave an analogy, or he gave an example of what he was talking about. But that just put in my heart and gave me a revelation of God's the way God works. So a lot of times, we might go through some stuff with people that we love, whether it be family, spouses, work, children. Sometimes we may go through stuff with people that we love, and we begin to pray. And we want to be closer to God. We want to walk in the likeness of God, of Christ. And we want to be more like Christ. And then we begin to pray for those who are not walking or not wanting to walk, not wanting to partake in being Christ-like. And a lot of it has to do with because you may not be invited, you may be ridiculed, you may be talked about, you may be left out, you may feel like you left alone and all of this stuff when you be family members, for our loved ones. When we start to pray for people, God don't start working on them. God don't start working on them right away. What he does is start to work on you and your heart. And it may be seeming like all of these attacks come out of nowhere, to where you're having to fight your own battles and get out of them. The thing is we're not fighting our own battles, y'all. The enemy will come once we begin to want to change the trajectory of our lives and our families' lives, and how we want to stop the oppression, we want to stop the curses, we want to stop the lack, the poverty. When we stop that, we want to stop the cycles. We begin to pray, and the enemy, he don't want that. So again, you'll start to have these battles and stuff. But the Lord, how the Lord do it is he'll begin to work on us and our heart and our actions and our mind and our spirit, to where we'll know how to fight, and we'll know how to trust him in the process. We'll know how to trust him in what he's doing, because stuff might not start to change right then and there. Stuff might not change the way we want to, when we want it, and how we want it, because we want what we want. We got this picture in our head of how our life should be and how our life should be going. But then, we begin to pray for the situation, pray for the people that's in our lives. We begin to pray for them, for God to change them, change their heart. But the thing is, this Lord will start changing you, so that way you can start trusting in him more in the process. It's some things that he got to get. Is It's almost like the prodigal son that left and spent all of his inheritance and then had to come back. And the other brother was mad, because the dad had thrown the party, and he like, you ain't never did that for me, dad. He was like, well, this son, it was like he was gone, and it was like he was dead, but now he's alive. And it's like, it's so many parables in the Bible that reference one another, and then reference our lives, what we go through. But we have to be able to be in the spirit to understand it and to get it. And if we're not walking in the spirit, we won't, or turn to the Bible for understanding and for wisdom. But it's almost like the prodigal son, because he thought he had the game and gone with it, and he was off to do his own thing. But he quickly found out that he needed to learn a little bit more. He needed to understand how to spend your money, and understand how to not to indulge in. But just because something is good to you don't mean it's good for you. How to be a good steward over that inheritance, right? Because God is trying to give us a good thing. He said, I have a plan for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, right? But if we go and take our inheritance from God, we go and take the will that he didn't gave us, that we didn't got from him, and we go off and we go splurging, and we go off thinking that we know everything, and we got it all together. And I'm gonna just pray for them, because they the ones that got the issue. They the ones that's then ran off and is messed up, instead of staying with the Lord so he can teach us, like how he had to do with Peter, because Peter thought he had the game and gone with it. He like, no, Lord, I'm gonna sit and fight for you. I got this, they ain't gonna mess with my God. You my Jesus. And you know what I'm saying? And the Lord was like, you gonna deny me, you know, pipe down. Pipe down, because it's the walk with me that I'm trying to get you to understand. We got to pick up our cross every day, right? And so we just have to understand that the Lord will, he's going to work on, it's our saying yes. Once we say yes to him, that we trust that he's Lord and he got it, that he's going to change the trajectory of our lives and their lives, and the circumference of our lives as a whole, family, brothers and sisters, neighbors, worker, co-workers and stuff like that. That he's the one that's in control of that, because it might be something that he's trying to get them to understand too. And that he wants, y'all to y'all to iron sharpen iron, and y'all to help love each other and be able to forgive one another. But he's going to work on you first. Of course, you're seeing something just on the surface level. You seen that they, that they are a liar, a cheater, or that they are a manipulative, or they, murderer, or whatever the case may be, drug addict, alcoholic, whatever the case may be, they all of this. But then the Lord has to break you down to, like, what are you, they a child of mine and you're a child of mine, but I'm gonna work on both of us. I'm gonna work on all of us together. And we gonna get this thing. I need you to get it as much as I need them to get it, so then it can come together when it's supposed to come together. Because the Lord's timing is perfect. We always want to rush, and we want stuff when we want it and how we want it. And we got, like I said, we got this picture in our head of how stuff's supposed to be. But sometimes God is like, no, I got this. And it's once we come to him and saying, okay, I have to put this in God's hand. I have to put this in God's hand, and I'm going to pray for them, is when he begins to work on you. So that way you can see things a little bit differently, and knowing that he is God, and that he has the upper hand, the power is in his hand, the control is in his hand, the timing, the aspects, all of that is in his hand and in his control. And that's what he'll make us to understand. But again, it will come a time where all of these things, once you begin to pray for your family, once you begin to pray for your spouse, once you begin to pray for yourself, the enemy does not want to let you go. He does not want to let us go. He's going to build up the Lord will test you, right? But the enemy, he's going to build up a resistance in you. He's going to try to build up a resistance in you, because the Lord will test you. He'll put up, once you begin to pray, the Lord will test you. He'll put an opportunity in front of you to prove to see where your heart is, to see if you practicing the spirit, the fruits of the spirit versus the fruits of the flesh. If you're practicing walking with him, if you're practicing his doing his word instead of just being a hearer of his word, if you're going to practice being a doer of his word, right, versus just being a hearer. But the enemy, he's going to try to put in a resistance. He's going to try to rev up that flesh. He'll try to rev up that flesh because he knows your past patterns. He knows your past patterns, and so it'll be somebody come up to you at your job. It'll be a family member that know how to get up under your skin and all of that stuff. But you will have to try to practice the spirit of the fruit of the spirit versus the fruit of the flesh. So he just dropped that into my spirit just now. But we have to get up, get dressed, and get to it. All glory be to God. We'll probably see y'all a little bit later on today. It's Sunday. Enjoy y'all Sunday. The rest of y'all weekend, and I hope and pray that y'all have a good week to come, if it be the Lord's will. And just continue to pray. I know stuff may get hard and revved up once you begin to pray, once you become a praying person, for your family and for things to change. Once you become a praying person, stuff will get hard and stuff will try to come up against you to get you to stop praying, to get you out of the spirit and into the flesh, to get you to asking God, why me? Why is it so hard? Why I have to go through this all the time, all the time? But press on, press on, keep pressing on and keep praying, because prayer does work. It's just not gonna come when you want it and how you want it and how you think it should be. It's gonna come when God is doing His work. When God is sees fit time for it to work out and on His time and how He wanted to work out. But I love y'all guys. I'll see y'all next time. Continue to pray for me. I continue to pray for y'all. I love y'all.